In a major boost to the citizens of Pune, the National Green Tribunal has directed the Pune Municipal Corporation not to fell any tree for the Riverfront development project till July 31st. Now, as per the ecologists, the project proposes to build embankments in the riverbed by destroying the riverine ecosystem in the area. The citizens have credited the victory to the Chipko Andolan that took place back in April 29, where over 2,000 people hugged trees along the banks of Mula Mutha River.
Riverfront development has remained in controversy since its inception. In a fresh update, National Green Tribunal has instructed PMC not to cut a single tree till the next hearing, that is July 31st. Now we are going to talk with the petitioner Prasad Kulkarni and other Pune citizens. What do they have to say about this? Sir, आप हमें ये बताइए कि what do you have to say? What was the hearing, the specific hearing? What did the judgment say? And why was the PMC instructed not to cut a single tree?
This was an interim order that has been passed by the Honorable NGT. So the Honorable NGT has clearly noticed that the scope of the project itself is being changed, because in the DPR that has been approved by the general body when it was in place back in 2019 or so, 18 and 19. So tree cutting was never part of this project. In the entire DPR that was presented before the GB and the GB has approved it, there are 4 instances in the DPR where the DPR clearly says that the green cover will be retained, trees will be retained. There is not a single word in the DPR which proposes or mentions tree cutting, tree removal, transplantation.
And now the NGT has taken cognizance.
And now the NGT has taken cognizance, and they have clearly asked PMC to file their reply. And the next court date is on the 31st of July. Till then, they are not to cut a single tree. They are not to touch any tree.
These trees on the banks of Mula Mutha works as mangrove. They prevent floods and provide shade and cool down the area. So they are very necessary for it.
Right. Tanmay, thousands of trees have been numbered and the number is, beyond 10,000. But PMC always says that, certain number of trees are going to be transplanted, certain to be retained and certain to be chopped off. What do you heard?
Well, see, you can see the trees behind me and they are like hundreds of years old trees as far as I can guess. So, and you can see the topography. It's not like they are grown straight in a very manicured way. They have grown naturally over here. So I don't know how they are going to remove these trees and then transplant them. And where are they going to transplant if they are going to concretize this entire part? So that is a big question for me. So how are they going to prevent that? The embankments are not going to prevent the floods from coming. And their DPR, their hydraulic report states so. But these trees are the ones which protect the entire land from getting flooded.
Very important point over here, if the trees are chopped, the flood levels can increase. So you tell me, you have been always talking about, this is a river beautification and not rejuvenation. Why so?
Basically, they are calling this as riverfront development. They have renamed this as river rejuvenation development. But actually, it is more about beautification. The river is not getting rejuvenated anywhere. The ecosystems are completely being disturbed. You can see it is more about the cleaning of the river. That is more important, and the river will get rejuvenated itself. But we see the sewage coming over there, the wastewater coming over there in the rivers, and only beautifying it is not going to help at all.
See, the first thing that when they talk about natural things, every particular area has its own nature. You cannot bring the mountains to the river and say I'm bringing natural, rocks over there. So this has its own pebbles and all that, not the rock brought from the mountains. So that is not natural for this system. Regardless of that, they are also using a polyfiber cloth to hold these rocks, which in few years is going to degrade. It's a HDP type of material which is going to dissolve and go into the water. So the water is going to get more contaminated. So other things, see, Pune is actually having lot of biodiverse spots. This is like one of the hot spots for birds. Almost more than 150 species of birds actually in this where Mula and Mutha meets. It's one of the best spots for birding, so people have come here. So what you do when you replace trees, it's not just you come and put some other trees. You are putting trees which are not natural here. You are removing the natural tree system here, the shrubs and all, which actually is a habitat for these birds. So when you build an embankment with rocks, stone and cement and this type of trees, you will be replacing this entire 150 species of birds by crows, pigeons, kites and maybe this. So you are turning into a totally deserted type of bird system out here, and that's people are going to live.
Right. We have heard over here that Punekars have various factors with which they are battling, and they are saying when we bring a project like Riverfront development, we are totally manufacturing a certain thing out of it. It's not anymore being a natural resource or a reservoir which we are looking for. This is Swarali reporting for Mirror Now, Pune.
Meanwhile, the NCP city chief has welcomed the move while throwing caution to the wind and said even though the decision is welcomed, it shouldn't be a fascist one.
पुणे के रिवर में जो रिवर फ्रंट का काम हो रहा है, उस काम के लिए करीबन 6000 ट्रीज जो पुराने हैं, करीबन किसी 100, 150, 200 साल से है, वो सारे पेड़ कटवाने की फरमाइश या उस तरीके की रिक्वायरमेंट एनजीटी के सामने पुणे म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन ने रखी थी. उस बारे में एनजीटी ने 2 दिन पहले जो फैसला लिया है उसका मैं स्वागत करता हूं. पुणे के जो पर्यावरण प्रेमी है, जो पुणे का पर्यावरण अच्छा चाहते हैं, एटमॉस्फेयर अच्छा चाहते हैं, वो टेकड़ी के ऊपर हो या रिवर फ्रंट में हो, सारे जगह वो पेड़ जैसे है वैसे ही रखना चाहते हैं और भी पेड़ लगवाना चाहते हैं. टेम्परेचर अभी 42, 43, 44 जा रहा है, आगे जाकर वो 50 न हो पाए, इसलिए ये सारी ग्रीनरी वहां पे रहनी चाहिए, उल्टा बढ़नी चाहिए, लेकिन उसके लिए एनजीटी का फैसला बहुत मायने रखता है.